If you had told me at the beginning of 2018 that my favorite game would have been about climbing a mountain, I would have called you insane.
The mountain. It's gonna be a long trip.
Oh, wait, no, wrong mountain. Hold up, let me get the right one in there for you. Ah, there we go. Celeste was genuinely the most surprising game I played in 2018. I went into the game expecting a decent experience that had been overblown since it was an indie title and people want their obscure game to parade around. And then I played it and, fuck, now I'm that guy, aren't I? Anyway, I loved everything about Celeste. The gameplay, the music, the visuals, the story, the fucking music. If you haven't played the game, I highly recommend it. It is challenging, but an incredibly satisfying game to play. The rest of the video will include spoilers, so be warned if you really care about that kind of stuff. The beauty of the gameplay is in its simplicity. You can move in 8 directions, jump, dash, and climb up walls, and that's really it. This sounds boring, but the thing that makes this interesting is how the entire game can be built around the movement. Each level includes a pair of gimmicks that are all great. Oh, right. Forgot I pushed the wind one out of my mind. Alright, I won't spend too much time on why I hate this wind, but I want to explain why. So every new mechanic that is introduced is interesting because it adds an element to the movement or creates a new obstacle to keep track of while doing the platforming challenge. Now the wind here is a hindrance to your movement. It's the only one that actively makes the challenge harder by making your basic inputs not work the way they do the entire rest of the game. Whether you're jumping in a bubble, riding Mad Boy, or climbing worm walls, your basic inputs of moving, jumping, dashing, and climbing aren't affected. When you are in this wind, they are different. Granted, they are consistent, but it's the only mechanic that is designed to hinder rather than enhance. Thankfully, the wind is only used in one level and for a little bit on the climb to the summit. I think every other mechanic is interesting and well executed though. The B-sides are hard and extremely fun. They were that kind of engaging that when I finished a screen I would let go of the controller and feel my hands become instantly sore from how tightly I was gripping it. That right there, that's immersion. The presentation in this game is also pretty simple but effective. An 8-bit art style that has some great uses of color. The sprites are also incredibly expressive. The dialogue is similar to old Rare games with just some gibberish that is used to express the character's feelings. Every single one is a perfect fit though. Madeline's is cheery when she's in a good mood and genuinely made me feel for her when she was scared. Theo's voice always manages to capture the carefree and confident nature of his character. I was surprised how close I was able to feel to these characters even though they were just little 8-bit sprites. The sound design is pretty good, but honestly the thing that makes this game here is the music. On the night of the Game Awards, I honestly considered calling my local police because of how badly Lena Raine got robbed in the Best Music category. This game hits you with gem after gem of incredibly atmospheric music. My favorites include Resurrections because of how the music slowly escalates and becomes more interesting with the level. When you're just at the start, the music is subtle and subdued. Once you gain access to the space blocks, the music picks up and becomes louder. Then, finally, when you start getting chased by Madeline, the music really hits its stride. I mean, come on, now that is some good shit. Another track I adore is one that I used earlier called Confronting Myself, because of how it adds to the scene. At this point in the game, Madeline is chasing down Madeline to confront her. The music is triumphant and uplifting, showing that this isn't a boss fight, but rather a fight to change Madeline's mind about climbing the mountain. It's not an epic battle to save the world, but rather a battle for the change in one character. Finally, the one that really got me was how this is played at the beginning to signify failure and fear because of the bridge collapsing. At the end of the game, though, it's played again before starting the true climb to the summit. It's a track that instills excitement to start the real climb. I have been listening to the music non-stop since I played Celeste, and all I have to say is thank you. Lena Rain, you have made my homework and actual work days much more enjoyable with this incredible soundtrack. Finally, let's touch on the story. Similarly to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I went into Celeste with no expectations of experiencing a captivating story. With both, I was blown away with how much depth they had. Celeste tells the story of Madeline, a girl who feels like she's at rock bottom emotionally, and decides to make a spontaneous trip to climb Celeste Mountain. She deals with mental health issues, mainly revolving around depression and anxiety. The mountain personifies the negative side of her that is commonly referred to as Madeline. She tries to keep Madeline down by insulting her and claiming that she is too weak to climb the mountain. Madeline tries to get rid of her, but that doesn't go so well since their characters are pretty much intertwined with each other. The game makes a statement about how we can't just get rid of the way that certain mental problems make us feel, but we need to come to terms with them. It's only when we work together with our negative sides that we can achieve greatness. This is shown not only in the story, but through gameplay as well. Once the two start to work together, the game allows you to dash twice before needing to touch the ground. This allows for some new types of challenges that haven't been present in the rest of the game. I think what made me really want to talk about Celeste is what the creative director Matt Thorson said at the Game Awards, because it really sells this whole story.
There is one thing I want to say though. If Celeste has helped you come to terms with mental illness, I just want to say that you deserve credit for that. That change came from inside of you, and you're capable of a lot more. Thank you.
While I have been blessed to be a mostly positive person throughout my entire life, I think that myself and the majority of people have had their spouts of feeling worthless and unneeded. You know, I had one just earlier this year when I was living in Montana with a very small pool of friends, taking college courses I didn't care about. And while I didn't play the game until later in the year, this game made me realize that I was only hurting myself more by blaming my failings on my saddened state. I needed to embrace that side of me and let it out, use it to motivate me to become better. And all of these thoughts came from an 8-bit 2D platformer. The power of video games amazes me year after year, and Celeste has easily joined some of my favorite games of all time and how much it has impacted me as a human being. Thank you, entire Celeste team, for making a game that was truly special. I look forward to your next adventure.